Hey guys, it's Jason from Game-Rave.com, and this is the first episode of Season 7 of Game-Rave TV. Alright guys, so after last week's abysmal just dead battery in negative weather and all this other crap that was going on, I wanted to take today to just freestyle it. No script, no cue card, no background, just let's talk shop. To start the year off, I wouldn't really call it a resolution per se, but as I joked in the opening little cinematic there, as a collector and gamer who buys all the games, we obviously all have our piles of shame. And normally in the context of Game-Rave TV, a pile of shame is the games you bought for super cheap, shamelessly, so you could just check it out and play later and so forth. However, right now, the shame I'm dealing with is trying to actually get through the games I bought specifically to happily play through them and check them out, be it full price on day one or what have you. So for the first episode, I wanted to show off my top 5 games I'm really fucking hoping to either play and finish or finally finish. So let's get started. Honorable mentions on 6th place would be Lord of the Rings and Wolfenstein for PlayStation 4. Now, I'm literally about 3/4 of the way through on Lord of the Rings and about halfway through on Wolfenstein, and Fallout 4 came out. In fact, I think Fallout 4 came out when I was doing Lord of the Rings, and then I think I bought Wolfenstein for super cheap during Christmas, and then No Man's Sky and something else had come out, and that just took over, and I never got back to it. Both are just phenomenal games. It's just I haven't been able to sit down and finally go back to them. So, yay, it's that. For the true number 5, we've got Jade Cocoon. Bright lights. Now, I actually bought this for cheap for $4 because when I had first started getting into Mass Effect, and believe me, there was a time when I didn't want to play or have anything to do with Mass Effect. I know. And after I'd gotten so into Mass Effect, a couple of friends said, well, you should check out BioWare's earlier stuff. So I bought it and then forgot I had sold off my original Xbox, and then it finally became backwards compatible on the 360, mostly. I know there's some issues here and there. But I just never, I couldn't take the time to just go, and play it, to what have you. I'm sure I was playing through Mass Effect 3 like a jillion times too. But that aside, next up on the 360 is Remember Me. Now, I know this game kind of got slammed in the reviews, and it did go into the bargain bin pretty closely, but I really liked the character designs, and I really liked the aesthetic the game had from what I saw. It's not one of those games where I'm sure it's only like a couple hours, but I just never really sat down and say, okay, look, I'm going to do this, let's do this. Next up, number 3, I think? Yeah, number 3. Metroid Other M. Now, I know this one sucks, but I wouldn't say I'm a Metroid whore, but I'm a fan, like a hardcore fan. And Super Nintendo Metroid is probably and Metroid on the NES are probably like 2 of my favorite games of all time, like in the top like 20, 25. And I almost kind of boycotted this after hearing just how they turned, a badass woman into a like kind of daddy's girl crybaby. But I really like the idea of the 2 views, and having rehooked up my Wii to do Wii Fit and EA Active, because gotta watch that cholesterol and blood pressure. I figured I'd finally sit down and try to play through this. Number 2 of games I should finish. This is probably the worst of them all. I've mentioned this a few times on the show, but Halo 4. Now, I know from it's the Call of Duty patch for Halo and all that good stuff. This one's the saddest because I bought that one day one, midnight release, came home, installed it to my 360 hard drive, did all the DLC freebies that came with it, and then literally never touched it. Went right back to Halo 3, Mass Effect 3's multiplayer and anything else that came out. I think Tomb Raider Reboot popped up then. So years after the fact, I'll finally sit down and play through that and then sell it for the 50 cents. It's probably worth by now. And then, obviously, no questions asked. Number 1 is, of course, Mass Effect Andromeda. when I was on my lunch break, when I was looking through the news and spotted that they finally had the release date for the 21st of March, and I was literally just like, to which at least two coworkers went, they have a release date, don't they? And even in a non-gaming work job, they know what I'm waiting for, and it's phenomenal. That game is going to rule my life. Like, you can make fun of all the World of Warcraft players and all that good stuff. If I even step aside from needing to go to work and grocery shop once Andromeda is out, it will be impressive. But yeah, so I cannot wait. More importantly, let's get this out of the way. Cool things going on. In Milwaukee this April is the Midwest Gaming Classic. I'm going to be there. Just hanging out, chilling, probably raiding the dealer's room for any PlayStation goodies I can find. It's actually the first video game dedicated convention I have been to since the original CES in the 93 and 92 era, when Street Fighter 2 was just coming out for the Super Nintendo for the first time. It's going to be really cool if you are going there. I'll put a link down below for the convention details. If you're going out there, you see me, say hi. I will gladly say hi back and talk about PlayStation or whatever you want. That being said, guys, I've got some games to play. I will see you next week on pause mode. Just have a great New Year's. Like I said, hopefully I'll get some new graphics or something for the opening and ending. That being said, have a great week. Stay warm. It's actually snowing again, so what a perfect time to stay inside and play games. See you next week, guys. Take care.